One Piece is definitely a great watch. Although the 1,000 plus episodes scares a lot of people away, even me, but since I'm caught up with One Piece now, side note, that first Elbaf episode was peak. Shanks' pirate crew was really moving like Vaughn. Oh my goodness gracious, bro. Anyways, I will be ranking sagas of pre-timeskip, and at the end of the video you'll see my list rankings, starting with East Blue. The start of One Piece. Wait, no, this is the start of One Piece. Anyways, this saga is actually pretty good. You get some Straw Hat backstories like Zoro, Nami, Usopp, Sanji, and if I can remember, Luffy's backstory is told as well, but it's more of a memory of Shanks. But during this saga, you experience absolute straight peak. Nami's backstory with Arlong is one of the better arcs in this whole East Blue saga. After Arlong Park, you head over to the Log Town, basically visiting the location where Roger, the king of pirates, was eliminated. And this nigga Luffy almost got himself killed. Damn, One Piece would have ended short if that nigga Buggy would have killed that nigga Luffy. But a man saves Luffy and allows him and the Straw Hats to escape and enter the Grand Line, Alabasta. This saga is actually pretty good, although it put me into commission for about 2 to 3 years. I don't know, I just stopped watching One Piece for a long time, but eventually I came back and finished One Piece. But that's beyond the point. In this saga, we get introductions of characters like the Giants, Chopper, Vivi, Crocodile, and this baddie here, Robbie.
So feminine with grace, I touch your soul when you hear me say, boy, let me be your woman. Let me be your woman.
This saga, I believe, is longer than East Blue, and action feels slow. You don't really get like the action until you really reach Alabasta and you get Luffy versus Crocodile, which is a pretty good fight. At this point, Luffy didn't have hockey, so he has to use like elements to beat this nigga, like water and his own blood. Wait. This nigga Crocodile lost and he had hockey? Should I start pronouncing his name as Croco Fraud? Shit. Skypeia. Alright, now in my opinion, Skypeia is literally peak. Others will say it's mid, and I'm like, bruh, I gotta do this. I gotta do this shit.
With that bitch on phone crash, y'all. This nigga not talking about shit. I'm on your ass, y'all.
Now this arc is one of my favorite arcs in the pre-time skip. There's this island the Straw Hats end up going to, which is the Jaya Island, but they go around that island asking about the Sky Island. Then they get clowned by pirates, and then they want to pick a fight with Luffy, and I'm like, are you insane? All right, this whole saga introduces characters like Blackbeard, and I think at this point he's probably fodder compared to what he is now, and Enel, which is a top tier villain at one point. I was like, how are they going to make it out of Skypeia alive? Then we realize this nigga Luffy is just rubber, and he's just able to tank this nigga's lightning's attacks and then punch the shit out of him. And then they just win, leave the Sky Island, and enter the Water 7. Water 7. All right, I'm not gonna lie. This saga got saved by Enies Lobby because I found Water 7 to be completely boring. Although this saga introduces Gear 2 and Gear 3. I forgot to say that Luffy and Usopp actually fight, and it's actually one of the most emotional scenes in Water 7. We get introduced to characters like Frankie, which later ends up joining the Straw Hats, and the CP9, which they are introduced and they end up fighting the Straw Hats later on. But are we forgetting the Robin I Want to Live scene, which is absolute peak? Robin's backstory is the first scene where I almost shed a tear, and normally I don't cry for emotional shit, so for this Robin backstory I Want to Live moment, it almost got me. I had to save myself, I'm not gonna lie. Or the Luffy versus Lucci fight, which was also peak, but I'm not gonna lie, after Luffy beats Lucci, they end up going to Thriller Bark. Man, oh man, this arc is so good. It's just straight absolute bro, why did you have to hit me, bro? Anyways, this arc is absolutely one of the worst arcs in One Piece. I think the only good thing that came from it was Brook and Kuma. That nigga Kuma was being an absolute menace, I'm not gonna lie. And what they did to this nigga Saturn, oh my goodness gracious, bro. I personally did not like Thriller Bark, but the big bad Gecko Moria, complete fodder compared to Enel. But after they beat that nigga Gecko, Kuma tests Zoro with Luffy's pain, and then they travel to Sobiti. Submit War. Okay, this saga is absolutely straight peak, and it's also one of the last few arcs of the pre-time skip, which is basically Sobiti, Amazon Lily, Impel Down, Marineford, aka the war. We all know what happened in that war. Anyways, this saga is mainly focused on Luffy after the Sobiti incident, because that nigga Kuma put the fear of God in Luffy when he easily separated the Straw Hats. Now to the war, which in my opinion is the best of this saga. Just straight belt to ass in this war. And when Luffy is facing off the Admirals, man, you can't say that wasn't peak. Anyways, after Luffy's brother joined the Donut Club, Luffy started training for 2 years and then plans to meet up with the Straw Hats in Sobiti again. Alright, I'm not gonna lie, I had tons of fun making this video, and here's my tier list. If you guys want me ranking the sagas in the time skip, get this video to probably 3 likes, and I'll run that up. Alright, see you guys next video.